Hello and welcome to this lesson on electroplating. In today's lesson, we will introduce you to electroplating and explain the fundamental principles of it. Secondly, we will learn about electroplating metal objects. We will discuss how electroplating enhances the appearance of metal objects. And finally, we'll explore how electroplating improves resistance to corrosion, thereby extending the life of metal objects. Electroplating provides yet another example of how chemistry can be used to directly modify both the functionality and aesthetics of metal objects. Let's begin. Electroplating is a technique used to coat the surface of a metal object with another metal, typically to enhance its appearance or protect it from corrosion. It involves depositing a thin layer of metal onto the surface of another conductive material using a process known as electrolysis. The core idea is to use an electric current to transfer metal ions from a solution onto the surface of a metal object, creating a new layer of metal that can enhance both its appearance and its resistance to corrosion. You do not need to know the details of electrolysis for now, as it is covered in a later unit. However, it does help with understanding the process, so we'll briefly explain it. Let's have a look at how electroplating works. The object that needs to be plated, known as the cathode, is immersed in an electrolytic solution. This solution contains ions of the metal that will form the new coating. Another piece of metal, called the anode, which is made of the metal that you want to plate onto the object, is also placed in the solution. When an electric current is passed through the solution, metal ions from the anode dissolve into the electrolytic solution. These metal ions are then attracted to the cathode, the object you want to plate, and deposit onto its surface, forming a thin, solid layer of the plating metal. One of the most common uses of electroplating is to improve the appearance of metal objects. By applying a thin layer of a more attractive metal, such as gold, chrome, or silver, the object can achieve a decorative and often reflective finish. This is especially useful for items like jewelry, cutlery, and decorative components. For instance, brass fixtures in homes are often electroplated with chrome to give them a shiny, aesthetically pleasing look. Electroplating is also utilized to enhance an object's resistance to corrosion. Corrosion is the gradual destruction of metals caused by chemical reactions with environmental elements like oxygen and moisture. By coating a metal object with another metal, the base metal is protected from the environmental factors that typically cause corrosion. For example, zinc plating is known as galvanization and is used to protect iron and steel objects. We covered galvanization as a method of preventing corrosion in a previous lesson. The zinc layer acts as a sacrificial coating. It corrodes instead of the underlying iron or steel, thereby preventing rust. Nickel and chrome plating are common for protecting car parts and other machinery components, thus extending their life by shielding them from rust and oxidation. The protective metal layer in electroplating can also serve a sacrificial function. When the plated metal corrodes, it does so preferentially because the outer layer is more reactive, protecting the underlying base metal. This significantly prolongs the lifespan of the object because the more reactive plated layer will deteriorate first, thereby preserving the strength and integrity of the base metal beneath it. By understanding these key points, we can appreciate how electroplating leverages basic principles of electrolysis to enhance both the aesthetic appeal and functional longevity of metal objects, making it a valuable tool in both industrial and decorative applications. In today's lesson, we covered the concept of electroplating and how it can be used to improve both the appearance and resistance to corrosion of metal objects. We started by explaining how electroplating enhances the appearance and corrosion resistance of metal objects by using an electric current to deposit a thin layer of metal onto their surfaces. This process involves immersing the object and a metal anode in an electrolytic solution, where metal ions are transferred to the object's surface, forming a protective and decorative coating. We also discussed how electroplating can enhance the appearance of metal objects by applying a thin, attractive layer of metals like gold, chrome, or silver, making items such as jewelry and cutlery more visually appealing. Finally, electroplating also enhances an object's resistance to corrosion by coating it with a protective metal layer, which corrodes instead of the base metal. This process leverages basic principles of electrolysis, prolonging the lifespan and preserving the integrity of metal objects in both industrial and decorative applications. See you next lesson as we go through alloys.